Hello and welcome to School Health Presents Talkin Tech with Dr. Ray. In this video, we're going to be focused on my friend Theo the Therapy Dog here. Now Theo, as some of you already know, is basically a very soft, plush stuffed animal. But there's a couple of other things that Theo has that most stuffed animals don't have. Theo is weighted at the bottom and has a pouch that you can actually take out, place in a microwave to heat up, or place in a freezer to cool down. And so you can also add temperature to the idea of what you're using this particular stuffed animal for. Now, a lot of people will ask me, how do you use stuffed animals or weighted animals with individuals? First of all, if you're using anything that's weighted, always work with an OT. They want to make sure that you're getting the right weighting for that particular individual. We don't want to do any type of physiological damage to an individual because we use something that's weighted that's way too heavy. The second thing you want to be aware of is this. We need to train a behavior. The concern that most groups have when they're using a stuffed animal or a weighted item is that an individual might escalate simply to try and get that particular stuffed animal or item so that they can have it and hold on to it. So how do we change that behavior around? Well, to change that behavior around, we want to actually kind of use this in the inverse. And that's what we're going to focus in on. How do we train the behavior so that when the individual gets this, it is something that's calming and allows then that individual to use it to what they need it for. So, what do I mean? Well, start with any of the stuffed animals or weighted items in a scenario where that individual starts to use this when they're already calm. So hand this to them and say, we're going to actually use this for X number of time, and make sure you're using some type of visual timer along with this so that they understand what that time is. So they can hold their stuffed animal or weighted item. They can have it resting on their lap. They could even have it, I know sometimes they like to have the animals or the weighted items on their shoulders, and that's fine. When that time is up, say, okay, time is up, and you take it away because they're already calm. Now, they might react to it right away and start to escalate because you've taken it away, but if you're using a visual timer, you've been giving them proper cueing as you go through. You want to do this for the first week or two that you've got any type of stuffed animal with that individual. You begin then to train the behavior that when they have this, they're calm. And so what happens is when they begin to escalate, that's when you can pull this out, hand it to them, and as they get this, their behavior is a reminder that normally, how am I when I get this? I'm calm. And you'll start to see shifts right away. Might you see them push this away? Yes, from time to time you might. But what you want to do is just work with them. Say, go ahead, pet Theo. Theo needs a pet. Or whatever you're using at that point. Why don't you use the pillow? Why don't you use the lap pad? Because what ends up happening is the body is going to respond because the behavior you've already created associates this with calmness. Oftentimes, if you just start handing them this when they're escalating, the behavior that you train is the inverse, that if I escalate, I get this. So that is our Talkin Tech video for today. Think about using your stuffed animals, your weighted animals, or weighted items in a different way. Train a behavior when an individual's calm. That way, when they escalate, this becomes a way of calming them down. And they don't begin to associate, oh, anytime I escalate, I simply get this. I thank you for all that you do out there, and I look forward to seeing you somewhere down the road.